Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Susy from Emergency Encounters, and of course, Mr. Barber from Bigfoot's Barbershop. You both have found your way into the darkness of the fox den to awaken me from my slumber for another werewolf expedition. Yet please, I really do need to feed. Absolutely delicious. Now that the shackles have been released and I have been able to revamp myself since Susy and Mr. Barber did bring me nutrition. Once again, we are going to take a walk into the darkness.
Stood up. I said, "Oh my God, it's a werewolf!" And everybody in the car freaked out.
Yes, welcome back to Midnight Lycanthropy here on LordeStarfox Radio. We have Susy and Mr. Barber again coming to hang out with us as we burn the late night timber into the early hours of the morning. Susy, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I am well, thank you.
Yes, excellent. Always good to sit down and get a chance to catch up with you. Mr. Barber, how are you doing?
Doing good, my friend. Busy weekend.
To the audience tonight, we have a really interesting topic that we are going to cover here. Yes, before we started recording, myself, Susy, and of course, Mr. Barber, we're talking about why there is what seems to be some sort of correlation once people see a dogman or werewolf type like creature. It always seems to then have some sort of connection to a reoccurring theme of their encounters. The question is it the same being or is it something different?
I just actually got done, well, I was in the middle of listening to an experience of a gentleman outside of Redding, California, in the woods, and he said that he had the experience with his brother, and it was his childhood home where he grew up, and they always felt something off, outside of their property out in the woods. And so it always freaked him out. And then they started seeing animal heads. So like somebody's dog would go missing and the head would show up, or their cat, and just little variants like that. Like, why would it eat everything but the head? And then he said him and his brother were outside in the edge of the woods, and this creature showed up and noticed them and started moving towards them, at first on four legs. He said it almost looked a little spider like, but then it stood up bipedally and looked at them. And he said it was it was black, hairy, 300 pounds, the pointed type cropped ears, and it loped towards them, but it also had 2 feet. It stood up on 2 feet and was coming at them. And he stated that that's not the first time that he's had experience with them out there. So definitely where there's evidence of animal pieces in the same area where they're seeing them, I would say that's definitely a physical, right?
Great stuff right there. I would, again, assumptions are never good. Yeah, I'm not really sure what other word to use here. I would
Hmm.
assume or slash think there would be some sort of correlation there.
Yeah, and the physical, when you go the physical route, there's always going to be some kind of physical evidence of something. You know what I mean? It's no different really than Bigfoot. Nobody knows for sure, no matter what people say. I'm sorry. I hate to be the truth teller, but nobody knows for sure whether they're solely physical, spiritual, interdimensional, everything's on the table. So,
Hmm. And even the possibilities that it could be actually all three, you know, or physical and interdimensional. You never know. But I was reading some stories about these people having these dogman encounters, and they perceived threats. Not that they really, got any telepathic message, but they perceived threats from that being or entity, whatever you want to call it. And then they knew not to show fear because I guess fear or attacking it makes it angry and come right after you. And then, you've caught its attention. So I don't, it's just really fascinating to me. And I'm actually honestly surprised that I've not heard more encounters up here in Idaho, where we've got the most wilderness in the lower 48. I was also thinking about how you said, like, they follow people home. It seems like once we catch their attention, they're like, oh, you can see me. So, Dogman, Spirit, one of us, like, we can see them and we've noticed them. All of a sudden, it's like a reverse. We're kind of interested in them, but then they're very interested in us because we can see them.
who knows what they do? I mean, maybe they got nothing better to do. Since diving into the stuff you hear about where there's potential guardianship of the
Mhm.
land.
Very, very true. The dog man could, if he's like actual physical here, he's going to act just like those predators.
Yeah, it's all individual based. I mean, animals are no different. Every, dog has a different personality, tigers have different personalities. I'm sure Bigfoot and Dogman, fall into that same category. And even, I've said this multiple times, a good Sasquatch can have a bad day and make a bad day for a good person.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of a nice one?
It's really all in the eye of the beholder.
Some of the missing people stuff that just triggered what I was reading up recently about the Idaho Triangle, where we've had um, two people for sure gone missing, no traces of them at all, and still to this day. And have you got any reports of any pieces of anything with these missing for Dogman?
I, again, have a couple reports.
I do know of a lady, she lives in the UP. She was in my chats quite a bit. Now she's in some other chats more than mine, but she refuses to go on a show. She has Bigfoot and Dogman activity on her property and near her property. And according to her, there's one clan that's on her property that her dogs go out and they see him on occasion. And the clan is, I don't want to say friendly, but at least indifferent, other than, some hearsay stuff on YouTube. That's the first time I've talked to somebody who's firsthand experience with ones that are okay.
Hmm.
As it seems like everyone else, it seems like they get their giggles by instilling fear.
Yeah, that's the most of the reports I've heard is they get giggles by instilling fear. Did she ever mention anything about catching them on camera?
They don't put cameras out because the Bigfoot and she doesn't know about the Dogman, but the Bigfoot, they quit coming around and then they tear the cameras up and then they just leave and they don't come back for a while. But she lives deep in the woods. I mean, she's even got to have Starlink for internet.
Does she? So I was watching one YouTube guy that actually leaves gifts out for his cryptid. He said he wasn't sure what it was, maybe Sasquatch or not, but he would leave like food or little trinkets, things for it to just kind of check out. And it was returning other gifts like sticks, rocks back. Did she talk about doing anything like that with them?
She has done it and she quit because things got too personal for quite a while. So they wanted to break that habit, and like even now they'll still gift her, but she doesn't pick it up because that means you're accepting the gift, and it's okay
Uh-huh.
to do this. So she got, it was 10 or 12 mice wrapped in leaves, like little Christmas snacks. Oh, and like I said, she's perfectly happy there with the way things are. She actually enjoys having the Bigfoot, and according to her, this clan of dog people that is on the property or surrounding is fine. It's the one that are miles down the road that have the
Hmm.
issue.
So theoretically, this kind of begs the question is if she did move away, would they follow her?
I tend to think they stay on the property as long as they're happy where they're at.
Mhm.
But
But what if they communicated with other nearby clans and said, "Hey, our lady that used to give us, weird presents and stuff, she's moved away."
yeah, absolutely. In my mind, in my opinion, from just reading and hearing and talking to people when I can, that's the kind of thing that happens. People tend to believe, especially in the Bigfoot world, and I'm finding out more dogmen as well, that it's almost like when the paranormal, when they say you're marked.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, same thing with Bigfoot and dogman. They communicate
Mhm.
your, whether it's your vibration or whatever, you're more prone to have more activity. Once, if one is showing to you, you're more likely to have more activity when you go other places.
Mhm. I've just had never actually heard of Dogman until, you guys. And I think that is just absolutely fascinating to me. My daughter had an experience seeing Bigfoot, and it was really interesting because she mentioned the color of his eyes. And then I was reading up on some theories about that they do change colors. I wonder if this applies to Dogman too. If they change colors when they're angry. So they have golden, shiny eyes when they don't pose you as a threat. And then when they think you're a threat, their eyes turn red.
I mean, curiosity, like I said, we're multiple times. It's like we're reality TV to them. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what are little hairless monkeys doing in the house? Let's tap and find.
Yes. Yikes. So creepy. Well, is there anything else you excellent hosts, friends, and guests would like to touch base on tonight?
Not much for me. You guys have given me a lot to chew on, and it's fun. I'm gonna have fun with this looking stuff up.
No, I think we hit all the bases as to potentially why they might follow you home, and it probably depends on how close you are too. I think on multiple occasions I've had Bigfoot follow me out of the woods. I know they're just making sure where I'm going and seeing what I'm doing, because they're really noisy about it when you tick them off. Every once in a while you might hear a stick break or just kind of light footfall. That was how I got my selfie with the one standing behind the birch tree, but they're so big wasn't that big of a birch tree. I got the side selfie, typical side profile of a squatch.
Wow, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I can send that to you.
That'd be
It's
cool.
it was one of those things where I knew it was there. I couldn't really hear it, but it was just I knew something was around. So I thought instead of spinning with a camera, I started taking selfie shots over my shoulders, and sure enough,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh yeah, there you are.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Oh, my creatures of the night, I do adore every single one of you, and thank you for hanging out tonight. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the truth to the algorithm, and remember, there are things that go bump in the night.